Hey, hi, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Goat Force Gaming channel where we play the roguelikes and the roguelites. Folks, we are coming up against the tail end of Bullet Heaven Festival, but there's still time. There's still time. It goes through November 20th, and there is still time to get out there and check out some epic Bullet Heaven games. You know you want to. You know there's always room for more Bullet Heaven games on your now playing list. I think right now I'm between 9 or 10 of them. I got a stack of games during the festival to show off, and then I had some going on the side anyways, because I kind of always do, because I love them. But we are back with more Death Must Die. Because death must still die. I know we took down the boss the other day, but that opened up the Star Crux section of the game, which adds some interesting components and made me want to come back, turns out, over and over and over again. So you can adjust the difficulty. And if you look up in the top left part of the screen, you'll see a 2. And that means that I made the elites a little bit faster. I added some speed because I want to just gently dip my toes in the water of making the game more difficult. But what you get in return is a much, much higher drop rate of gear that is incredible. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to tell you that I now have several pieces of mythic gear for the Maris that we are now all watching together on the screen. I know, it's another watch party with the GOAT. I am commenting on my own footage here because I was just playing some rounds. You never really know if you're gonna get what you want to get. The whole goal of this round was to see the Winter Goddess show up and build the most epic fire and ice build that we possibly could. And this one turned out really juicy. So stick with us. Stick with us. It's going to be a good run. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm going to tell you at least. It's going to be a good run. So we're going to have a good run today in Death Must Die. And we'll see what we can see, like we always do. And we're going to be looking for those chilly spells and those fiery spells. And we're just going to keep building up that way. Cheers to you, by the way. I am joined by my colleague. This is more of a unique colleague because I'm in the middle of lunch, not lunch, just more of a snack. I'm actually out here with a blueberry chocolate protein powder smoothie. And I gotta tell you, I like it. So I hope you're out there with something like a coffee or a tea, perhaps. I'm gonna be probably heading downstairs in a little bit here and making another cup of coffee. It's almost second cup o'clock. If you know, you know. I usually do a cup or 2 each day. Sometimes I switch it up. If it's later in the day, I'll go with some cacao. I've still got part of the chocolate peppermint cacao roast that I'm enjoying. And I've also got the Mayan roast that we've talked about a little bit, where it's got notes of cinnamon and cayenne. It'll warm you up. It'll warm you up. I think one of you in the past said, "Hey, I'd like some schnapps with my Mayan roast." I would too. You know, it'll warm me up that much more. Plus, it's getting cold out, but the weather keeps flip-flopping. I don't know if that's doing that by you as well, but it keeps swinging on the pendulum. And, you know, if you're trying to get used to the colder weather, it presents a little bit of a challenge. But I guess that's what we're doing right now. You know, it's this combination of heating them up and then chilling them down. It's very timely, and I didn't even consider that at the time. Now that Icebound is going to help quite a bit with the build in terms of multiplying the damage that we're going to do along the way. I might have mentioned last time that I've picked up some gear that is also generating experience points just from the gear itself. And so if you watch the experience bar, it's climbing by itself whether we're getting the pips or not. I love gear that generates experience. Once you get to a point where you can take some selections like that, I highly recommend it. You know, if you think of the game as a race to getting more powerful before the horde does, anything you can grab that's going to help you get experience faster, it's going to help you win the race and just knock down their durability as it builds. So that worked out really well. I ran out a little bit ago to the Popeyes. Maybe you have Popeyes by you. You know, they've got really great fried chicken. I know most of you know my thoughts on fried chicken. It's one of the wonders of the world. And so Popeyes sells these Cajun turkeys, and we wanted to get one or two of them. They're really hard to get because they're super popular with how tasty they are. And so ran out, and they had a bunch. So I actually grabbed two of them, and I think we're going to do one on Thanksgiving. And then we're probably going to do one for Super Bowl, whether we host or somebody else hosts. You know, they're only 11 to 14 pounds, and so they're roaster friendly, and we've got a roaster that will sometimes travel with us. Kind of one of those mobile ovens, you know? I mean, you need it. You need it in this day and age. You just do. So 6 minutes in, we're getting ready to ascend to level 14. You know, that's positioned pretty well to take the Barrens to Melty Town, quite literally. I was excited to see where we were, and in addition to that, the amount of damage that we were putting out. I didn't go with the meteor shower there because I wanted to get another form of capability that would do the fire status to the enemies. Wanted another thing in addition to the meteors. Cheers to you. I can't believe Thanksgiving is so close. It's upon us. You know, I have so many favorites when it comes to that meal, and it might be fun to comment on what your favorites are. Look at these Barrens just going down. I love watching the health drop so quickly. I know, we have to pause real quick here for a selection. But that one goes along real well in terms of multiplying the attack damage again. For anybody frozen or chilled, that seemed to make sense. But yeah, I'd love to know what your favorite Thanksgiving meal is if you celebrate that. You know, are you a candied yams person where you just gotta have like a couple yams and 3 pounds of charred marshmallow? I'm talking a good char. You know, when I say char, lot of people are thinking, oh, well, wait a second, I don't want them that dark. I'm saying that golden brown, that not like somebody took their time. Not like somebody put the marshmallow on the stick and put it directly into the flames of the campfire. Somebody took their time and really cared, right? Not somebody that just wants to set the damn thing on fire. So that nice golden brown. I love them. In fact, I think that's probably, if I had to pick only one, I think the candied sweet potatoes are probably my favorite when they're made that way. But you have to have the savoriness of the turkey and other salted items on the plate to help cut the sweetness, right? Yeah. I love them. I love them. Speaking of salty, I mean, as long as we're going to get into it, let's get into it. Let's properly get into it. Green bean casserole. Can we all just appreciate not only the green bean casserole, but the crunchy onions that are on top? You know, I will eat an entire container of those crunchy onions, and I don't care what the nutrition label says. I know, it's not good for you. It's probably not. But I would eat an entire container of the crunchy onions that are incorporated at the top of that beautiful green bean casserole that really should happen more times throughout the year. Yeah, thaw makes sense. Go with thaw. Go with thaw. All right, yeah. Goat made a good call there. But I guess if some of these dishes showed up more often, you know, they wouldn't be as appreciated, right? It wouldn't be as special. But I love a good green bean casserole. Stuffing comes to mind, right? Now, I don't know about you. I like a good standard stuffing, but my wife's aunt spoiled us because she introduced us to her stuffing, where she incorporates 1 or 2 pounds of breakfast sausage, and you are hit with all the nice spices that are in a good stuffing, but then you're also hit with that sage from the sausage and the spice of the sausage. It is a beautiful thing. My brother-in-law somehow coaxed the recipe out of her, and we now have the deep magic and can make it when we'd like. So that's probably gonna happen a couple times. You know, everybody's hooked on this. Now, I've mentioned before, we have the standard Thanksgiving and then the larger Thanksgiving with the extended family. And, you know, we'll do something like 7 or 8 turkeys because there's like 80 people there. It's extended family, it's friends who are basically family. It's a madhouse, it's loaded, and it's fun. And so people bring dishes, and nobody really knows who's making what. There's kind of a list, but it's organized chaos, and it's more chaos than it is organized, if I'm being totally honest, but in the right way, typically, right? But there's some items that are expected to be there. My mom makes a mean, cheesy potato casserole. It's expected that that is going to happen and be consistent every time, right? If that doesn't show up, somebody might lose their mind. It's that type of experience. See, now that choice right there just enhanced our experience gain capability, the auto gain, even more. My guess is right now we're at like 4.2 experience per second without the pips coming in at us. But then we've got those too, so. One year, someone showed up and decided to put green olives in their version of stuffing. Now look, if you like olives and you want to put them in stuffing, which, by the way, I like olives. I really like olives. I don't know that they belong in stuffing, but if you're going to contribute something and that's how you like your stuffing, I think that's fine. But somebody messed with the stuffing, and there were actually 2 stuffings on the table. Now, my wife's cousin was a tad bit inebriated, and by a tad I mean a lot, and he didn't realize that there were 2 different approaches to stuffing, and you could choose the one that you want. He wasn't aware. So this guy is in line for food, and to this day, we don't know who made the stuffing, but he's in line. He puts the spatula in. He's coming up. He's examining the stuffing, and he sees the invading olives. And he yells out loud, "Who put olives in the effing stuffing?" And the room just silences. There's like 80 people here. Everything falls silent, right? And you're sitting there going, oh my God. Well, I'm glad I didn't make the stuffing, but geez, somebody here made the stuffing because, you know, it's a big room. People come and go, but people aren't going to leave before the main event. You know, when all the dinner hits the table, right? Somebody got schooled on olives and stuffing and how some of the people feel about it. Now, I felt for that person. Because again, if you're going to be kind enough to make a dish, and that's the way you like that dish, then go for it. Put the damn olives in, right? It was funny. It was pretty spectacular. It stands out. You know, we've been doing this for, I don't know, 10 years, right? There's a contest for the turkeys. Well, not everybody, but, you know, a lot of people make one, and they get fried, and they get oven baked, and they get put into roasters, and they get put into smokers. There's usually 3 fried entries. It's just a good time with family and friends. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I don't think we will ever live through another olive controversy ever again. I think whoever it was has bowed out of making stuffing and perhaps any dish ever again. Now, that guy went down pretty fast. He's usually a little bit more challenging for the goat. So I feel good about how that encounter went. And yes, I should have cleared out the inventory prior to coming in, so I'm struggling to find a common. But there we go. So that opened up a space for that epic. How about you? Do you have any Thanksgiving meal controversies that you would be brave enough to share with us in the comments? Please do. Please do. We like funnies. We like roguelikes and roguelites, and we like funnies in the comments. We really do. And if you are liking what you see, it would make my day if you hit that like button. It helps more than you know. And we're always very transparent about, you know, how the channel is doing. We do the update once a month where we talk about all the analytics and we geek out and try to masquerade as statisticians, trying to make sense of it all. Sometimes we do a better job than others. But if you look at the likes on some of the videos, some of the Death Must Die videos, you'll see that there's a video out there with 80 or so likes, and it's hit around 3,000 views. So you liking the video helps get it out to more folks that might like to hang out with us in this community, and that's really great. So I appreciate it. You know, this is that point where they start throwing a lot of elites and assassins at you. And then, of course, we've got the homing fireballs flying at us, too. And it's a difficult section. It's one of those tests that you go through again to see, have you put something together in terms of build that could go the distance? And the attack range on the hammered elites, maybe sledgehammer is more appropriate, it's a lot beefier as well. Got Golden Shield Man out there. But this build is doing a good job of melting them. Now, I was a little bit concerned with my health at this point, but there's a number of opportunities out there to get some health back. I have some gear that makes it possible to get health back on hits. So I just thought, well, play a little bit more conservatively at this point. We'll stay out of the way of trouble, or at least try. Especially since coming up on the 18-minute mark, you've got about 2 minutes to get it together for the final push. Yeah, so I sent a photo of the acquired Popeye's turkeys to my brother-in-law, and he said, "Oh my God, you did it?" And I said, "Yeah, I did it. I did the thing. We talked about doing it. I got them." He said, "Well, we gotta fry those. We gotta fry those up." I said, "No, they're par fried. They fry it and then they freeze it, and it's meant to be cooked in the oven or the roaster at that point." And I think he is still adamant about refrying it, and so I'm sitting here going, boy, that could be like deep fried Inception, right? I mean, if you know, you know, right? Yeah, I didn't want to go with the additional masters offers at this point, given that we've only got 1 minute left. It just didn't quite make sense. It's just glorious seeing that this build really came together, even despite the large skeleton horde that's upon us. And I think the fire and ice build just really works, and it's nice that there are just a number of great capabilities offered in the game to allow you to maximize on both of those statuses. And whether it's the let's put ice slicks all over the ground, let's slam them with meteors over and over and over again. I don't know about you, if you've made it to Dracula, I like to have that shield that fully nullifies a hit from an enemy. Because some of Drac's attacks are really tough to block. And I got lucky there on that one because I think he ran into something or maybe was stunned. Because I think that one might have done me in. But the shield really saved our behind right there in a big way. I recommend it. Sometimes I pick it up and I'm not extremely thrilled about it, you know, because the options are usually really good. But then I go, oh yeah, down the line, that's going to be a big help. So we got him. And now, of course, I've got to clear out my inventory again so I can pick up these mythics that have dropped. But you can see what that Star Crux is going to do for you. And again, I eased right into it. I didn't go full bore and add a whole bunch of difficulty. In fact, I think I only adjusted the speed of the elites, and just doing that led to not only numerous mythic drops in the field, but it also enhances what's offered in the store. So a big change overall. Feels good to get the W. So now we're going to take a look at some of the loot offerings here. Greeting Gloves of Magnetism. That gives you heal on the level up. And usually I don't go with heals on level ups, but I am now starting to see a lot more items that will potentially heal 1 life on hit. If you consider the amount of damage and the amount of times you're going to do a hit, I guess is a better way to look at it. The amount of hits you're going to do, you're going to have a heck of an opportunity to generate health. Hey folks, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate the support. You take care out there, and we'll see you again soon.